Good afternoon. My name is Larry Lucas, and I'm here today to teach you and hope at least some new recipes of mine. I've been cooking a long time and enjoy it very much. Today I'm doing a corned beef barbecue. A lot of people do sloppy joes. This is like the gourmet part of that, and it can be used 4 or 5 different ways. So to start with, when you do anything in the Italian or Spanish, start with olive oil because it's much better for you than regular oil. And use enough, and then you want to right away brown your onion and your green pepper, and I'll do that real fast for you. And you don't want to overcook it, but you want it to be thoroughly cooked so all the flavors are there. So just chop it as fast as you can and put it in the frying pan here, and you hear it already starting to sizzle. And we're going to move right along with this. And the corned beef barbecue gives it a different taste. And I have to tell you a little secret. When I was 13, I came up with this recipe, and it won the Iowa State Best Choice of 2 meats in 1 recipe. So at 13, I was very honored to be in that category with all the famous cooks. But it has remained one of my favorite recipes, and my family and all that share it. It's open-faced. You can use it with cheese in the broiler, or you can use it just as a sandwich, which is the way I prefer it. It's also good over fries. And then I'll show you in a moment how to fillet zucchini, and I call them zucchini boats. And they are delicious, and I'll tell you in a moment how to do those. So anyway, we got this going. We'll stir it, and it has garlic in it, but never add garlic to your onion and pepper when you first start, because garlic cooks faster and it can burn, and you don't want that taste in your recipe. So those are done, and we'll get them started here. And this is at 350. Which is a good thing. Of course, if you don't have the electric frying pan, on the stove is fine also. And I would probably have it around 7 or 8 in your electric stove guide. So as this is browning, then you can use 2 cloves of fresh garlic, or about a teaspoon of the prepared garlic, which comes in jars like this, and is also very good to have around the house, because you never know when you need a little bit. And my favorite seasonings are garlic and oregano. I try to use as little salt as possible, because it's not as good for us as some other things, and it sometimes takes away the total flavor of what you're working with. So that's that, and I put it in a little earlier only because we are on time here. And so as this is getting ready to be done, the next thing we do is add ground beef. And the ground beef is just put in haphazardly, and you want to brown this totally. You want this to be totally brown before you add your other ingredients and your spices. Now, normally, only because we are on time constraints, you want to brown your onion and your green pepper more than I have today for you. But we want to be sure that you have a complete recipe, and all the recipes and the ingredients will be available as you might request them. So again, it's going to take just a minute, and we'll have this done. I'm also doing for you today potato salad, baked beans, and grilled cheese, so that you'll have some real fast recipes to work with. And I try to tell people and encourage them to try to cook at home. The food, of course, tastes really good, and when you buy frozen goods, you're spending 4 times more on your groceries, and if you buy canned, 3 times more. So not only is it better to cook at home if you can, it's more economical for all of us. And when I do Italian or Spanish or something like this, I always use a pinch of sugar because that takes off the tomato taste and acid, and a pinch is what I just did. So this is browning nicely, and you can only wish that you could smell the aroma like we are here, and it's getting done for us. And then the next thing we add is the can of corned beef, which there are many different types to use. I have used them all over the years, and they all add that special taste that you don't get from a sloppy Joe. Of course, I like them too. Alright, that's almost brown. And then just take your corned beef and just flake it off in pieces so that you're adding it to your beginning of your ground beef. And it takes a full can. And the other thing about this recipe is something you could do a batch like I've just done for you. It also freezes very well. So you can put it in one sandwich baggies or two, depending on the size of your family. But I always say cooking for one can be fun. I started cooking when I was 8, living in the north at the time with my family, and because of illness, in the wintertime, what do? You can't play outside, so I learned to cook with my mom and my grandmother. And most of my recipes are from those years. And in 1973 and 74, I wrote my own cookbook. It took 2 years because you have to taste and try everything, but it's been a good staple for so many families. So this is almost done. Now, the next thing, and I'm not going to measure this, but I'm just going to let you know that you add salt, just enough to enhance the flavor, and black pepper. And I know you probably don't have these big old containers of spices, but I do cook a lot, so I have them here in the house. And then the other thing is you add is a lot of chili powder. And that depends on your family's taste. It's not hot, but it's very flavorful. And if you do want it hot, just some green pepper or red pepper flakes, something like that, will add to it for you. And then the last thing is a bottle of ketchup, believe it or not. And something I should have done ahead of time, I apologize. Thought I had it all prepared here. And when you finish emptying your bottle of ketchup, add water to it to get all the goodie out of the bottle. And then you'll want to be sure that you've got every ounce, and then we'll stir it, and we're almost there. I would let it cook another hour at home so that all your flavors gel and you have the full flavor of everything that you're cooking. Now, as I mentioned, there are many ways to do it. Here is a sandwich. The other way would be to do it on a hamburger bun, open faced with your favorite cheese on top in the broiler. And it's great over fries. I've done it many times that way. And then these are zucchini boats. And this is zucchini. I hollowed it out, and you boil this just till a rolling boil. and with salted water. And when that's ready, then you fill it in here with some of your corned beef barbecue. Sprinkle your favorite cheese. Put it in the oven for about 30 minutes, and you have another great healthy bite of food. And then I would put sharp cheddar on the very top, and when it's melted, then you know you're ready to eat, because you've already boiled your zucchini, so therefore you know it's going to be tender. And it's a good side. So anyway, you can see the finished product here. That's corned beef barbecue. Okay, our second recipe for today is old-fashioned potato salad. And I love to make it, and I've made it for so many years, and it's always everyone's favorite. Some of the hints you should know about when you do potato salad. Number one, never peel your potatoes ahead of time and cook them, because it makes them squishy and all the goodie is in the water. So boil them in salted water by themselves. I've already cut these up for you, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to peel this, because it's already cooked. And boil your eggs inside with your potatoes in the same pot, so you don't have two burners going, just to save electricity. And they'll boil, and they can't get well done because they're just an egg, but you'll have them so you can do them. So when I try to have the faucet going, and as you can see, you can just scrape these down. It's much easier than peeling potato, and it's ready to be used in your potato salad. So I'll get this peeled, and then I'll show you how I cut them up. I'm not much for a chopping block or board. I was taught as a child, you do it in your hand. So guess what? Larry does it in his hand. I don't know that maybe back, because I'm older than dirt, they even had chopping blocks back then, but this is the way I've learned to do it, and it's proved all right for me. So after you've got it peeled, I score it down 3 times and twice, and you're ready to cut it in your squares for your potato salad. And the same way with the egg, I try to do it underwater because they peel a little bit faster. And if you can get a hold of that skin, they'll come right off. Many times they're not. Another little hint about eggs, because I've heard people say, oh, I thought I had a boiled egg and I cracked it and it was fresh. When an egg is boiled, if you spin it, it's boiled. If it doesn't spin, it's still a fresh egg. So that should maybe save you a little nightmare in the kitchen at another time when you're doing something for your dinner table. So I don't like to have them mushed. I just cut them up, because when I have my potato salad, I like to get a hunk of egg as well. Now when I do egg salad or deviled eggs, of course, I do like them smashed. And while it's warm, you want to be right on top of it. Have all your condiments and everything ready to go. The first thing I do, while it's still warm, I add red wine vinegar. I sprinkle it just enough to have it absorb, and all the goodie goes into your potato and your egg when your things are warm here. So try to do that. Then the next thing I add is about a cup of mayonnaise, and you want it to your own taste and your family. And I don't try to stir it at once. And then you want about a half a cup of sour cream, and I'm doing it without measuring because I've done it forever. And you'll want about a quarter cup or thereabouts of your dill relish, and about 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, salt, of course, again to taste, black pepper, same, And the most important thing to me is celery salt. You get that wonderful flavor, and I don't add onions to my potato salad or chopped celery, because over the many years I've been doing this, I'm allergic to onions, or I don't like crunchy in my potato salad. So I use them and on the side, have a chopped onion, have some chopped celery. If they want to add it or garnish it, that would be their choice. So you want to toss this so everything is coated nicely with your flavors. And then at the end, when this is done, I take a little taste, and then I'll add what I think might be needed. A little of this, a little of that. It's really kind of funny, no two times when you make it do you actually use the same amount of ingredients. I don't know if it's the potato, the way they're done. And sometimes I use the red potatoes, and I don't peel them at all, because it gives a nice color to your potato salad instead of just a regular russet potato. But anyway, it's getting there, and we'll keep stirring it here to be sure that all the potatoes are coated. And if we need, we add a little bit more of any of the ingredients that I mentioned before, just so that it's right for you and your family's taste. So the last thing I always add is a little bit of salt, because I know it didn't get all the way through, and a little bit of pepper, and a lot more celery seed. This is, I think, this and the oil, the wine vinegar are the two things that really make it special and very flavorful. So whether you go on a picnic or whatever, just have it. Now, if you're cooking for a large group, and this is your way to manage it. 5 pounds of potatoes, you use 6 eggs. 10 pounds of potatoes, you use a dozen eggs. If you want to do it for yourself, maybe 2 potatoes and 2 or 3 eggs, and you can make your own little potato salad for your own home. Anyway, this is ready for the picnic. Are you ready to come? Okay, recipe number 3. And this is, of course, everyone's favorite, baked beans. You can't have a picnic without them. And of course, beanie weenie, or beans and hot dogs, however you want to call it, it's just one of those basic staples that I think we all love. I start with beans, and for 2 to 4 people, I use 2 cans of the Campbell's baked beans. The reason why I use these, because I do all my own seasoning, and when you buy a seasoned canned bean in the grocery store, it costs you more. So you get more flavor if you do it my way or your way, but the main thing is to buy them non-seasoned, because we're going to season them for you. Now, I put the 2 cans in here, and the other thing about baked beans, you want to at least cook them almost 2 hours at about 300. I hate soupy beans that run all over your plate, and I like them to be flavored. You don't have to stir them, but just have them baked in a baking dish of one kind. I use this because it adds a little character to the brown and everything. And sometimes you can make your recipe even look better by what you serve it in. So we'll start here. And I used in the Cuisinart my onion, and it takes 1 onion. And I minced it up because, again, some people are allergic to big hunks of onion. This other thing you want to do is add molasses. And I use about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of molasses. And brown sugar, about maybe a third of a cup, 3 big tablespoons. Lots of my favorite food. My grandkids gave me a shirt that says, "I like ketchup on my ketchup," so they know the truth. And then we'll use some yellow mustard, and that would be maybe about a tablespoon of that. And salt and pepper, again to taste. And I suggest never putting a salt shaker on the table. Flavor your food right and don't add salt, because that's the worst thing you can do, especially as we get older, because it adds to so many things that we don't want to have when we get older. So stir this all up real good. And a lot of people who can eat meat love to put bacon strips on top, and that's fine for flavor. You can add your little wieners in here if you want, or at the last half hour you can just lay hot dogs on top of it, so you got it all together. When I was growing up, I know this would be a nightmare for us today because we are so health conscious. Our meal on Friday night would be hamburgers, and Mother would do this baked bean recipe on the bottom of the broiler, and all that grease would come through, and we loved it. Today it would be probably put in jail for trying to do the same thing. But anyway, there is baked beans and at least 2 hours to bake them. All right, folks, we're back again here, and this is number 4 and 5. Believe it or not, we've gotten this many things done in a hurry for you, but this is one thing that people don't know. When you do grilled cheese, use mayonnaise for your outer coating, because it doesn't burn like butter, it doesn't spot like butter, and it's much better for you. So we're just spreading this out so you have both sides done. And what you want to do is add not one, but at least 2 kinds of cheese, so you have that double flavor. Now, when you want, and you want to make it a full meal, then I had my butcher cut this very, very thin, and you can put a little bit of turkey or ham, salami, whatever you like, thin, 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 and put it in the middle of your 2 cheeses. And I always add a little honey mustard to give it that. I just went to the gourmet deli and got a grilled cheese, but I did it at home. So that's there for you. And we'll do another one. This time it'll just be the cheeses. And when you got the grilled cheese almost ready, and you want your grill at 350, or of course you can do it in the frying pan. This is just because in the years past, I have done hundreds of grilled cheese at one outing or one gathering of my church or the YMCA or wherever I happen to be the volunteer cook of the day. And it makes it really good. I'll need I'm spinning like a spinning top. Oh, here. Sorry, I didn't disappear. It was the disappearing act. But I had to get my turner here. So you turn it. You see it's already golden brown at 350. Turn that a little soon. I always press them down so that the cheese really is getting really melted, and it just makes them a little crunchier when you're getting ready to eat. And don't do what I just did, but if you can see how nice, and that is totally covered with mayonnaise instead of spots maybe when you do butter and not spread. And I don't like to use oleo or margarine. I like to use pure butter if I'm cooking. So another recipe real fast for you, English muffins, and you can buy them, have them in the refrigerator for a month because they won't go bad. You take olive oil and spread it here so it goes into the cavities of that. Then you add pizza sauce, which you can buy in a very small jar at the grocery store. Add that next. I add 3 pepperoni, and then your favorite cheese, and I try to use the Mexican mixed cheese, which has like 5 flavors in it. Spread it on there and stick this into your broiler or in your oven just till the cheese melts and it's ready to eat, because everything is already ready to eat. It makes a great pizza at the house, and it's fun. Kids love it, and you will too. Thank you for today. I hope you enjoyed it.